Hi, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com, and this is the how to do repeat stamping tutorial using the Picture Perfect birthday stamp set and associated products. And the stamp that we're going to be using is this stamp here, and then Happiest of Birthdays to You stamp as well, but you could also use the Celebrate the Good Stuff. That would work as well if you preferred. So that's the stamp set and the pieces that we're going to be using, so I've got those ready on my blocks, and this is the card that we're going to be making today. And in this card I'm using the stamp to create this kind of crisscrossy pattern, which I thought looked a bit like banners and streamers, etc. That matched the papers that I'm using at the back, which is this this paper which looks like streamers and party confetti and stuff like that. So then we're just going to add a little bit of ribbon down the side and finishing it all off just by popping it up on some dimensionals. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So let me show you how I did my background, because the background really is the most complicated part. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut up your paper, which is it's this one with the spots on one side and the streamers on the other. And you're going to need to decide which bits you want, whether you want to take a piece out the middle, whether you want this sort of gold peekaboo peach edge, or whether you want this green. And I decided that I actually preferred the green because I was going to mat it onto peekaboo peach. So that's the piece that I decided I wanted. So we're going to cut that down to 9.5 centimetres, and then we're going to trim off down to 13.9 centimetres over here. Okay. Take that little piece off, don't need that anymore. And that's your base mat. So you're going to need a Bermuda Bay card base, an A5 size, and then a Peekaboo Peach layer which is 14.4 by 10 centimetres. The Designer Series paper we've just cut at 13.9 by 9.5, and your two little pieces are Bermuda Bay 7 by 10.5 and Whisper White, which is 6.5 by 10. Just going to work on our piece of Whisper White, and I always use, because it's photopolymer, the stamping pierce mat. Pop a piece of this is the grid paper, I've just chopped it in 4. If you just follow these lines down, you get 4 perfect pieces that fit on your pierce mat. Okay, so that's the next thing that we're going to be doing, is we're going to be stamping our rosettes or stars or whatever. So choose which colour you'd like to start with. I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist, and I turned it round so that I was working this way. Obviously you could just turn the card round, but I actually like the mat being this way too, because it helps me work out where I'm going. Just helps my eye line. And then you're going to take your Lemon Lime Twist stamp and you're just going to go across the card at an angle. Now obviously I'm looking sideways, you would look above, and if you kind of follow where you're going on your pierce mat, you're using your grid paper on your pierce mat, then you can work out, you know, where you are and how straight you are, etc., and you can line up some of the edges. I'm not going to be perfect because, as I say, I'm looking at this at an angle. And when I did it, I stood up so I could look directly overhead. But you know, it doesn't really matter because you're going to cover it up anyway with some words. So any tiny distortions in size or lines, etc., won't really show up. Okay, so that's that. Then obviously you need to clean that off. Just do that. And then you're going to go back the opposite way with your Peekaboo Peach. And I like these two colours together, they really work nicely, which is why they've teamed them up, of course, in the colour combinations. And this time you're just going to go back across, so I'm going to actually work my way back across from a little bit further down. I'm going to go there and then add that one in there. and then come across. You want sort of the same distance between the two. When the Stamparatus comes along, this is going to be so much easier because I have actually done this with the Stamparatus and it works a treat. And when that comes, you will be delighted to do this because it's so much easier. You can do this with the hinge step, so it just automatically does your correct angles, etc. Oh, now I've just missed one, but they're all the same shape, so I'm just going to go quickly back in, finish that one off. Yeah, that'll be fine because you're going to cover that up with some words anyway. So that's pretty simple stamping. The hard part is just making sure that you've got your lines going down the way you want them to, and that you're happy with the diamond pattern that it leaves behind, because obviously that's, you know, that's the feature of doing it like this, is that you get that lovely diamond pattern left behind. So now I'm using Bermuda Bay, just inking up the sentiment, and I want my sentiment a little bit off, just a little bit off centre towards this end. And again, this one doesn't really matter. I'm just coming a little bit closer so I can see my edge, see if I've managed to get that straight. Oh, not bad. Okay, so that's that. And then I leave that to dry just literally for a few moments. Get rid of my pierce mat. And I'm going to use this. So you want to be able to go behind here and then tie it in a knot. And you can choose whichever way. You can have the ombre coming in from the side, or you could turn it round so that it's darker. See the difference there? You could have it darker. I'm going to do it darker so that it's different to the one I've done before. And then that way you can just see the difference. I mean, it's going to be a minute difference, but you know, it can make a difference to the card. And then I just tie that around like that. Whoops, like that. Now, when I first made these cards, you're going to need to play with that knot because that's not very pretty. There we go. When I first made these cards, I didn't actually have any of the sequins. Since then, I've now received the sequins, which are beautiful. So I'm going to add a few sequins to my card that aren't on the original. And even though they're from a different suite, they still match the colours that are in this Picture Perfect Party paper pack. Wow, they need to come up with something that's less difficult to say on camera. so you know, you've got the berry burst, but you've got also some darker. I think these are pumpkin pie, but they just, you know, they're the next tone down in depth to the Peekaboo Peach, so they go quite well with these. And you can literally just peel them off and pop them on. And I think I'm going to go where they're not. I actually think it's easier if you use your pierce tool as well, just to pick them up from underneath. I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to put that one, where should I put that one? Here? Yeah, something like that, I think. Don't really want them in a line. Ooh, maybe up there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, see how I make up my card designs? Just move them around until I'm happy. So these other ones, I mean, this one is a paler version. It's the pool party, so it's a paler version of the Bermuda Bay. And obviously this one is more like a yellow, but again, it's close to the lemon lime twist. So that's why I included them. So in my designs, please feel free to just keep adding sequins as you wish. So now is the time. I'm happy with that, so now's the time to assemble everything. And again, I've done the stamping and all of that and made sure I'm happy with that before I assemble everything else. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of Tombow on here, our multi-purpose. I love our multi-purpose glue. There we go. Set that aside because we're going to put that one up on dimensionals, so set that one aside for a second while you finish the rest of it. So take your card base and fold it in half. Get my bone folder, make sure I've got my bone folder, there we go. Give it a good burnish. People often say to me, what's a burnish? And it's just literally just giving that a nice crease down the edge there. And then we're going to do this. I didn't get my fast fuse out today. There we go. But I know a lot of you like the multi-purpose because it gives you a little wiggle room, so you're probably using this at home. There we go. That layer on. And now you have the difficult decision to decide which way up you want this to be. I think I might put, dearie me. See, this is the tricky bit. Do we go that way? No, I think the ruffly bits need to be at the bottom, so we're going to go the other way. And I did this a little off centre because I wanted a lot of the ruffles to be showing, or at least some of them to be showing, so that you got a sense of what was going on behind the middle piece. Because it's nice paper, so you want it to show a bit. So that's why I offset mine just off to the side here. But you could put it central. If that offends you, you can put it centrally. And you still see the ruffly bit, but I liked this bit over here. So, dimensional time. As we know, use a decent amount so you get no saggy middles. Saggy middles are my soggy bottoms. We want no saggy middles. There we go. Oops. Okay, that should be fine. So there we go. So that is your second card, now with the addition of the lovely sequins, which I think just bring, and you could add some over here if you wanted to. You could pop some more over there, maybe some of the shiny ones over there. It's up to you. I'm not going to add any more just now, but yeah, I think they do add something. So there you go. 2 cards using the repeat stamping with Picture Perfect Birthday. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please come back again and see me again. All the details are in my description below or over on the blog post. Thanks very much. Bye bye.